Hi, this is something of an unusual review because I'm going to talk about two films that I've seen before, but are very special cases. They are Otto der Film and Otto der Neue Film, the German comedies from the mid 80s that I've recently purchased on this Blu ray set. Um, I grew up in Germany, as I've mentioned before on the podcast, and both of these movies were regular fixtures on TV during the late 80s when I was living there. Otto Waalkes, the co-writer, co-director, and star of the movies, is comparable to Billy Connolly in a way. He started out as a folk musician, would crack jokes during his sets in between songs, and gradually the jokes overtook the rest of the set and became more of a stand-up comedian with musical elements. He released a string of successful albums, toured all over Germany during the 70s and 80s, and in 1985 released Otto der Film, which at the time became the highest grossing film domestically ever produced in Germany and is still the third highest grossing local production. It's the story of the Otto character, a bumpkin from East Frisia who goes to the big city to seek his fortune. He gets involved with a debt collector and immediately incurs a huge debt, whilst accidentally coming across the daughter of a wealthy family. They fall in love and they try and court each other whilst evading her family. And he, on numerous occasions, is almost able to gather the money to pay off the debt collector with various coincidences. The second film, Otto der Neue Film, made 2 years later, sees Otto determined to return to his homeland after failing to make it in the big city. However, his landlord won't let him leave the apartment building without paying off his unpaid rent. So he becomes Dog's Body, but is mistaken for the vet for whom he's house sitting by the new tenant with whom he falls in love, even though she's tremendously shallow and obsessed with movie star Amboss, a very thinly veiled parody of Arnold Schwarzenegger. So he has to maintain the illusion that he's a highly respected animal psychologist whilst trying to get her wish of meeting the famous and volatile movie star. Both films are filled with a lot of visual humor, a lot of verbal wit, very fast wordplay that reminds me of Dan Aykroyd, and a lot of referencing of German popular culture. There's a Mickey take out of the Thriller video, except instead of Michael Jackson turning into a zombie, Otto and various other people transform into duplicates of Heino, a popular German pop star who sang modernized versions of folk songs. Um, in the second film, there's obviously the Arnold Schwarzenegger parody, but various other gags and elements. There's various musical numbers. Um, I enjoy the films a great deal. I don't know how well they transfer to the English language audience, however, because they're so dense with the language. They've never been translated into English. As far as I'm aware, none of Otto's films have been released in English language markets, and the Blu ray contains only the German language soundtrack and German subtitles. So, if, like me, you're a German speaker, it's not a big deal, but if you're not, then tough. The Neue film was also a big hit and remains the 10th highest grossing German film at the German box office. In fact, Waalkes has a third film in the top 10, although it's none of the other three in the set, which contains the three other stories with the Otto character. Waalkes has been continually very successful with two further films about the Seven Dwarfs parody of Ocean's 11, and more recently, a film version of the 1970s British children's series Catweasel, about a medieval wizard transported to the present day. Unfortunately, that too isn't available in English, and I've yet to see it anyway. I would recommend both Otto der Film and Otto der Neue Film if you can find a translation or if you speak the language. They're great time capsules, I think, of German popular culture of the mid 80s. Some of the humor is very sharp, very witty and entertaining. Some of it has dated quite badly. There's the use of some what appear to be racial epithets that might be mixed in translation or be less severe than they sound, but also is very clearly on the side of the underdog and the the downtrodden rather. So it's hard to accept that these are meant in anger. There are some noticeable supporting performances I mentioned in the description. The first film features Sky Dumont, who would be recognised as the potential European seducer of Nicole Kidman in Eyes Wide Shut, and here plays Otto's love interest's aristocratic suitor, while Gottfried John plays a bank robber and would later appear as the rogue General Oromov in the James Bond film Goldeneye. The second film doesn't have as many recognisable faces, although they might be better known in Germany. But the first film is noticeable for the cameos. The mother of his love interest is played by the equivalent of Dandy Nichols, playing the wife of the Alf Garnett counterpart in the German version of Till Death Us Do Part. While there's also a cameo for one of Germany's best loved variety performers, who plays the most refined and eloquent drunk you'll ever see, laying in the gutter in his full evening dress with his Tiffany shopping bag next to him. As I said, both are very enjoyable. They are time capsules, and I'm looking forward to watching the other three films in the set for the first time and reviewing them on here.